Times change, so must societies evolve to meet modern changes. For the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, it is time to review the law which pegs the minimum education qualification for aspirants to the office of the President and other elective positions at senior secondary certificates or its equivalent. Gbajabiamila says Section 131 D of the 1999 Constitution, which makes provision for the minimum education requirement for people seeking elective offices, does not align with current realities and needs of modern times. Let's share the story with you.
It's the University of Lagos 52nd Convocation Lecture with the theme Building Back Better, Creating a New Framework for Tertiary Education in Nigeria in the 21st Century. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, an alumnus of the school, who delivered the lecture, said Section 131D of the 1999 Constitution, which speaks to the minimum education requirement for the presidency, does not align with the current realities and needs of the modern times.
Ladies and gentlemen, this provision is the product of a different time and reflects the reality of that time. It is time to take another look at that position as part of the ongoing effort to reform our electoral system and establish a fully participatory democracy, providing the capable leadership our country needs.
The lecture, which was chaired by a Justice of Nigeria's Supreme Court, Justice Amina Uji, spoke about the importance of education in nation building.
Educating ourselves, making us ready to face what life has to come, is our personal choice. Nobody is forcing you. Nobody is going to say do or don't do. But when you do get yourself properly and soundly education, everything's like a vehicle that will take you to the highest point ever.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, and the Chairman of the University Governing Council, Lanre Teju Osho, highlighted some of the achievements of the university.
Our students in the area of entrepreneurship, they have been doing very well. What the university intends to do is to register companies for the students, and with the support of the Bank of Industry, get the startup grant of maximum of 2 million naira for them to start their business, and also bring in mentors.
It was concluded at the lecture that the foundations of Nigeria's educational system are still rooted in a different age and designed to meet the social, economic and labor demands of a different societal and economic model. Sharon Jackson, TVC News.
I remember that time when Tuesday Guardian, when it's for people seeking employment, and when if you are going through it, you see must not be more than 27 years of age, must have a second class upper from Federal University, from this, they will just list it in a company so that they can get the best. So when you now get to the company, you now write, sometimes they will ask you to write SATs or GMATs, you know, as aptitude tests,
just to be sure that
just any of this multinational, you must write this aptitude test just to make sure that they want to get the best. But when it got to the Nigerian Constitution, and when people have been going to courts and we've been seeing cases, and I discovered that it's not even compulsory you have that whole level. No. That's not what that thing is saying. The equivalent. If you have something like, if you go to one school like that, it's looking like qualification of O levels.
Yes.
What do they call it?
G4. What do you call that one?
I've forgotten this thing that.
The one for typing.
I've just forgotten, but this is not good enough.
Is whichever way we look at it, you cannot say, okay, you've reduced the age, you know, for people to be eligible, and then not do anything about the qualification. We can't be in this digital age, and say that just anybody could be our president, for example. We have to raise the bar. That's the point that Gbajabiamila is making. You know, Gbajabiamila has a talent for arguing, and arguing logically. That is the greatest talent that he has, to the point that even sometimes he forgets that he's the speaker and he tries to argue with his colleagues. Because that talent is there and it pushes him, you know.
Sound.
Yes, he's sure of himself. He's a sure-footed politician. So he knows what he's talking about. He knows what, and I'll be very pleased if they can amend that portion. The presidency should not be an all-comers affair. Even our religions encourage us to seek knowledge. The first vision that was given the prophet of Islam was for him to seek knowledge. And he was told to seek knowledge even as far as China, if need be.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
What
are we talking about?
And Daniel understood by books.
Yeah, so what are we talking about? There's no reason to simply say, oh, somebody, they are not even saying you should pass, that you should just enter evidence that you went to.
Yeah, the evidence, yes.
Whether you are a failure in school
yes, that's
or not.
what is amazing there.
I mean, I don't know the kind of people who wrote this.
It was a carryover from the 1979 Constitution. Because I remember at that time, this led to a very big fight when they were doing the constitutional review before the 1979 Constitution came into effect. I think these people just copied it and just pasted it in the 1990s.
Well, they got to do something about it.
Approach.
They just pasted it and let it go. I agree with you. I think most of the time, especially in southern Nigeria, this thing is observed more in the preach. Do you understand? People have bigger certificates and then they dumb it down so that there be no problem later in life, because some people have questionable qualifications. So they might use this as an excuse not to present anything at all. So you understand? So that's why politicians will never touch that particular. That's the lacuna there.
The minimum is simply not enough.
Because it doesn't,
you
cannot accuse somebody who said doesn't have a certificate of forging a certificate. You get what I'm saying? So they make sure that this thing will not go. And I can bet you can come back here next year, nothing will touch that particular clause.
No, but if these guys, if the National Assembly members are patriots, they know that it makes sense to touch that thing. How many of them are not educated in that house or in that Senate? Some of them are academics, some of them, professors. Yes. So what are we talking about? If you can go through all that to get yourself educated, your parents invested their hard-earned money to get you educated, and then you go to a place where laws are made, and you encourage never do well to be able to aspire to be president.
Should not just go for mediocres.
That's what we are saying.
It should not, at least the best.
I'm saying the minimum as we have seen now is simply not enough.
It should be a first degree minimum.
The minimum is simply not enough. What is it that difficult to go to school?
When you have so many correspondence colleges. There are even some people who went to school in London. There's a general joke when I was in London that there are some schools dedicated to Nigerian politicians. That's why they come in 6 months. You have your degree.
Even whatever we say, education broadens one's knowledge. You are a much better person when you read and when you are educated.
Logic.
And there is, you see, even where we are, we always say that, look, there's no experience, there's no substitute to getting educated. Get yourself educated. Learn. You can learn from your colleagues, your junior colleagues, just that knowledge. You must be a knowledge hunter. That's what makes you a better person. That's what makes you a better person. You see the difference between somebody who did not go to school when they begin to relate.
I know.
I mean, you see, it will be clear to you.
Chief Awolowo said it. He said, I would rather raise an army of educated people than an army based on sentiments. That means he's raising an army that will query him.
Be able to ask him questions.
He doesn't want to lead people that will just say yes all the time. He said he's happy when people come to him and argue with him. That's leadership. And you and I know that Obasanjo, when he was Obasanjo, will take the time from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. argue with his aides So next morning,
That's how it gets better.
It's an authority on that topic.
Yes.
Because for the 3-4 hours during the night, when everybody else is
He's
sleeping,
taking notes.
he's talking to them, arguing with them, and learning from them.
That's how you get better. You can't in this digital age. Look at some of the people even becoming prime minister, becoming president in other countries.
Well, their age.
We should just flow with the tide, and that's why I agree with Gbajabiamila that this thing is not consistent with the present day realities. We've got to produce the best, and Nigeria has tremendous talent, tremendous manpower everywhere, excelling everywhere.